Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this tarot card reading, which is made for watchers of true crime. Today, the suspected Idaho killer Brian Kohberger made his first appearance in an Idaho court, and the probable cause affidavit detailing the evidence leading to Kohberger's arrest was made public. The affidavit identifies a witness as the initials DM, and it's believed to be the surviving roommate, Dylan Mortensen. Apparently, Dylan heard crying coming from Xana Kernodle's room around 4 a.m. and a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She later saw a man wearing all black with a mask covering his nose and his mouth walk past her and exit the home from the second floor sliding glass doors. Dylan then locked herself in her bedroom, but it took another 8 hours before the police were called with a report of an unconscious person. So this reading tries to figure out why Dylan didn't immediately contact the police. I'm going to do a Celtic cross spread to look at the situation Dylan was in at the time she decided to lock herself in her bedroom and what her considerations were. So I'll lay out the cards and then I'll identify the different positions and go through them and do some clarifications once I'm done laying all these out. Okay, so the bottom of the deck, the influencing energy of the reading, we have the Emperor. So a sense of control, authority, power, dominance. That's kind of what was influencing her at the time to some degree. So let's see, at the current situation, present situation, we have the Hierophant. I think it's interesting here. You can see the position is someone laying in bed, kind of putting their hands up, and the priest, although holding a cross, is wearing all black. So this is a sense of Dylan really trying to figure out the signs of what she was hearing, what she was seeing. So the card that covers Dylan is the Five of Cups. So a sense of loss. We have the Four of Swords in her focus. You have here these hands reaching up on the bed, and below you have the Eight of Wands in the past position, the Eight of Swords. In the near future, you have the Devil card. Interesting. In her attitude of the situation, we have the Hanged Man. The environment, we have the Nine of Wands. In terms of her hopes and fears, the Six of Swords, and the outcome, the Two of Pentacles. So let's take a look at this Hierophant. So yeah, it seems like Dylan was trying to figure out from, like connecting the dots, trying to figure out what it was she was hearing, what it was she was seeing, and maybe just hoping someone would kind of tell her exactly what was going on at the time, so she didn't have to figure it out on her own. You have here the five of cups that are crossing. So with the five of cups, it's a sense of loss and sadness. It could be that she, in general, doesn't really know what to do. Maybe she was going through her own issues at the time. Um, but it seems that, there was a sense of really just, um, focusing on the past. And in the past, you have the Eight of Swords. So it's a sense of confinement, restriction, like her mind just making her think she can't do anything, like a victim mentality to a certain degree. Um, and just, feeling isolated, not really sure what to make of things. And her focus with this Four of Swords, um, it's a sense of really needing clarity. Maybe it was just dark and she didn't know what to make of things. And she had certain fears. Nine of Swords is usually what the fears are, like if it was a nightmare, but it could be just, aspects of her past kind of creeping in on the need for clarity that she was kind of searching for at the time. Um, so let's take a look at this Eight of Wands below her. It's kind of working in the background. Maybe she's not aware of it, but it's a sense of anxiety, or not necessarily anxiety, anxiousness, things kind of just happening and needing to kind of just go with the flow and just be there and deal with things. So I think it's interesting in her attitude, you have this hanged man, a suspension, and just having patience, trying to see things from a different perspective, feeling that there's really nothing that can be done at the time for, whatever reason, maybe hoping that some clarity will kind of set in after, after some time, after kind of trying to figure it out. In her environment with the Nine of Wands, it's maybe it's a sense of her roommates being exhausted, having partied, and really trying to figure out themselves what might be going on around them. But to some degree, there's just really no one there to kind of help her figure things out. It's a sense of being on her own, even though that's the environment. It could be she thought other people were also trying to figure it out. In the hopes and fears with the Six of Swords, Dylan could have just wanted to mentally move on from the place where she was, like kind of ride out the storm. Things are calmer, going from a place of mental chaos to a place of calm, and just hoping, that it maybe whatever she was kind of focusing on or afraid of wasn't really the case. But in the near future, with this Devil card, it's a sense of immediate gratification, immediate release, doing something that isn't necessarily for your best and highest good, but it's kind of instant resolution of whatever it is she needed at the time. So here it could be that in hindsight, she was kind of giving up her power. And in the long-term outcome with the Two of Pentacles, it could be that Dylan is, kind of going back and forth and, juggling what should she have done? Could she have done something different? Would things have turned out differently if, she could have done something differently? So I'm going to go ahead and clarify these cards. So let's clarify the Hierophant. We have the Lover's card here. That could be Xana and Ethan. It could be that Dylan was thinking the, sounds that she was hearing, the crying or the talking that she heard was just Xana and Ethan maybe having a fight or having a heart to heart, something that was going on between them. Um, let's see about this Five of Cups here. So, it could be that it's all in hindsight too, because you have the Knight of Wands here clarifying the Five of Cups. This is a card of kind of going after what is in your focus, like what is drawing you at the moment. So it could be that Dylan was really kind of focusing on her own things, maybe something going on in her own love life, or something that was, she was dealing with her own sense of sadness about something and feeling that maybe if she was having a fight with her significant other, that, maybe that was going on. That's what she was hearing as well. But to some degree, if there was a sense of discomfort or uneasiness, it could have been that was really overriding, what it was that she was kind of thinking was happening. Well, here we have the Six of Cups. This is a sense of kind of harmony, nostalgia. It could be something from her past where she felt like a victim or she felt like she couldn't do something. So maybe that was coming back up. And, maybe she thought the person wearing the mask, it was like had to do with like COVID and, people wanting to protect themselves, from, COVID. And it could have been someone that just was in the house for whatever reason. So let's see about the Eight of Wands. I mean, the Four of Swords. We have the Nine of Pentacles. That's a sense of independence and kind of really being aware of who you are, of your surroundings, knowing what you've done to be where you are. And that kind of conflicts with the Four of Swords and the focus in terms of being aware. So it could just be, she just fully wasn't aware of what was going on. Maybe there was, drinking involved, something along those lines, where trying to get mental clarity. And if she was dealing with something personal, then kind of that was involved with that as well, with the lack of clarity and kind of, not having a clear head at the time. So here we have the Ten of Wands clarifying the Eight of Wands, some type of heaviness, some type of burden. It could be that Dylan just felt she didn't want to take on more responsibility. She didn't want to deal with other people's stuff. Like she already had things happening in her life and just wanted things to kind of play out, and not really take on more if it wasn't a big deal, if she wasn't really seeing things clearly in the first place. So let's go ahead and do some more clarifications here. Oh, these two wanted to come out. Okay, so we have Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Cups to clarify the Hangman. So Ace of Pentacles, some kind of new beginning. Ten of Cups, it could be that she just was thinking in the morning things would make sense. This is usually like a happy household where, there's a sense of community in this house and maybe more drinking and partying and wanting to kind of just wait and that maybe things would get better or make sense in the morning. Like it would all, this new perspective in the morning would be something that would be something that was self-explanatory to a certain degree. Kind of hoping that would be the case. So it could be that, again, that concept of not knowing what's going on, a sense of maybe what's going on with Zaina and Ethan. It was something that she just wanted to kind of hold off on. So we have here the Seven of Pentacles, a sense of kind of not wanting to do more, a sense of really just leaving things as is for now, to clarify the Nine of Wands. So it could be that for the environment, it's sense of no one was doing anything and maybe just leaving things as is for now, and maybe thinking everyone else was trying to sleep, just trying to leave things as is. So let's take a look here. For the Six of Swords, we have the Seven of Cups. So again, if she was drinking, a sense of not really knowing what's real or what's imagination, or just just hoping things will just move on and just get a sense of clarity in the morning. And with the Devil, the Ten of Swords, so hitting rock bottom. Well, there is a body with a bunch of stab wounds in it. But basically, it seems like it's hindsight, where she realized she gave up her power, and her roommates were killed. But it's more in hindsight, because it's not something she would have known at the time, or it seems like it's something she didn't know. And she was just waiting it out and thinking it would be better. Like in the morning, it would make sense that it would, normally it's fine. Everything's fine. So let's see for this Two of Pentacles in the long term. Two of Swords. So a sense of, fear and being at a stalemate, not being able to make a decision. So it seems like in the long term, she is kind of like, what facts should she have gone on? Should she have done something? Would it have made a difference? But she just didn't have the clarity at that time, and almost to a certain degree not knowing what would have changed about it anyway. So hindsight is 20/20, and she really was just kind of not really sure what to make of it. Maybe issues with her past, feeling she couldn't do anything, and then also hoping that it was just nothing and it would turn out to be something else. So this is what I have for now. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay on your toes and take care.